Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, today we'll be having a look at the new events that just started in Asphalt 8. We'll do an in-depth analysis of your chances in them, and I'll give you my thoughts on the whole thing. But you want to watch this whole video because you'll have a chance to win the premium racing pass to get the newest Lambo in the game, the Diablo GT. So stick around to find how to participate in the giveaway. In the meantime, like the video already, and let's get started. Now this entire video is going to be divided into three main categories. The first one is going to be the racing pass, the second one is going to be the special event, and the third one is going to be my general thoughts on the whole thing because they're both interconnected. So yeah, there's going to be some timestamps if you want to skip topics, but let's start this up with the racing pass. Now, as it is the case with any racing pass, the free rewards are gonna be incredibly meh. Nothing worth mentioning over here. There's just gonna be some parts that you can get, nothing too interesting, so I'm not gonna talk about them. Instead, what I'm gonna focus on, obviously, it's the premium side of things. And first of all, the premium is gonna cost you $10 as it has been the case for quite a while now. If you wanna get the premium plus, that's gonna cost you $25, and that's gonna give you. Remember, by the way, this is my local currency. That's why it shows like that. This isn't in dollars. This is in my currency. But this is $25. It's gonna give you all of the levels, all of the unlocks right away, all of the mileage guns, so you can get every single thing right away, and an additional 1,000 storage slots, which is good for storing all the stuff that you're gonna get over there, but this is not necessary. You can just do $10 and you'll be fine. As far as what it's contained or what is in the premium side of things, well, first of all, right over here, if you don't have the car, it would show a Lamborghini Egoista. That is the first reward that you're gonna be able to get over there. Because I already own the car, I already own the car. It shows like 500,000 fusion coins, but yeah, normally it should be the car. So right away you can get a Lambo over there, but as I mentioned at the start of the video, you can also get through this racing pass the Lamborghini Diablo GT. Oh, what a beauty this is. I've been waiting for so long to get a Diablo in the game, and finally we have it. Granted, I would have preferred if it was the Lamborghini Diablo Super Veloce, but hey, I'll live with the GT. Now, this is a car that is at the top of Class A at the rank of 1772. It is unknown if it's a really good car or not, because we didn't have a chance to test this car at Pro. We never got, as content creators, we never got a free try of this car, so I have no idea how it performs, so I cannot speak for the performance, but it should in theory be a decently performing car. We'll have to see how it goes. It's a beautiful car. Again, I'm glad that we finally have a Diablo. I've been begging for having one of these for years now, and finally it's here, but there it is. So again, there's going to be a chance for you to get this premium pass. Later on, I'll tell you how to get it. But now let's talk about, is this racing pass worth it? Well, it depends on what you're trying to focus on. First of all, if you like Lambos like I do and you're a collector of Lambos like I am, then definitely worth it because you can get this car. And fortunately, it's not the case like the Sterado that was a treasure rush. No, this is just a car that you can get for $10. And I understand that this is going to lock out a bunch of people that don't spend money on the game, but if you're one of the spenders, this is not such a terrible deal, so there is that. And if you don't own the Egoista, you're also gonna get it, so that's fine. The rest of the rewards, as usual, is gonna be some parts and kits, in this case for a few Lambos, for the Lamborghini Aventador, then there is for the regular Huracan, for the Diablo, and for the Egoista. Those are the parts, the kits that you're gonna be able to get, and some wildcards and parts to also upgrade the cars. Is this enough parts to upgrade the cars fully? I don't know. I really haven't counted it all. I know for a fact that they only give you about 50 or 60 of this, so you're still gonna have to convert some, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Other than that, again, a bunch of parts that if you don't use them, you can at least sell them for fusion coins, and there is that. So overall, for the most part, if you're not into Lambos and you're not interested in the special event, I don't think this is going to be super worth it for you. But if you're into the special event, which we'll look in a second, this is important because this is a car that is featured in it. And oh boy, this thing gets a little bit complicated, but let's have a look. So, a special event, yes! And it is, of course, for the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spyder. We can have a quick look at the car over here. It's a car at a rank of 1860, meaning it's a Class S, but it's not at the very, very top. The top being 1861, 1862, or the Jesco Absolute, which is at 1864, but that's a completely different thing. So this should be a good car. Now, I haven't even driven it once myself. I haven't done a single race with this because I thought it was more important for me to give you a general idea of the special event and its good things and its pitfalls. But there it is. Beautiful car. Well, to some, I honestly don't like this model of a car all that much. I don't like the convertibles because it really mess up the the shape of the engine cover and whatnot, but still, I understand that a lot of people like this car, so yes, and it's an incredibly popular car in Asphalt 9, so there is that. So this is gonna be your chance to get it. It makes no sense in my opinion that it's an 1860 car being a Huracan, but there it is. Okay, fine, whatever. The other Huracan, for context, is in the 1680 bracket. Did they switch these two numbers and that's why it's here? I don't know. It's a Class B, the other Huracan, so I don't understand why this is Class S, but hey, I'm not gonna question it anymore. It is what it is. Now, if we have a quick look at the cars required, well, you're gonna see that it requires a lot of Lambos, except that one of these Lambos doesn't look like the other Lambos, does it? If you know what I'm talking about, well, I'll read you the complete list of the cars that are required. It's gonna be the Lambo Countach 25th anniversary, the Murcielago, Egoista, the Huracan, the old one, the Aventador, the SCV12. Then there's gonna be needed the Diablo, as I mentioned in the racing pass. Then the Reventon, the main car for the previous special event. The Huracan Evo Spyder is also going to be needed here, although only towards the very end of the event. And the other peculiar Lamborghini, it's a really long name Lamborghini. It's called the Lamborghini Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute, because it's totally a Lamborghini. Obviously, I'm joking. I don't know why the Jesko Absolute is over here. Well, I kind of have an idea why it is here, but thematically speaking, it makes no sense, because it's not a Lambo, but it's featured here, it's needed. So there is that. Now, I made a video recently where I talked about precisely this special event and the racing pass and the fact that the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute is going to get a Treasure Rush rerun on the 25th of July, which is in about a week from now. So there will be a chance for you to get this car, low as the chance might be, because I would imagine it'll be extremely difficult for people to unlock the King of Kings in the game, but the possibility is there. So hopefully, if you're really lucky, you'll be able to get this car. Now, I want to talk about the special event itself, because obviously this looks like a terrible thing, right? Like, oh my god, this car is required, how am I going to make progress on it? Well, again, much like in the previous one, I want to dispel a little bit of the doubts that are coming about how these special events work and the paywalls and the roadblocks, because yeah, it looks terrible and it is difficult, but it's not impossible. So in order to make it a bit more visual, let me bring a little tool that I like bringing very often. Yes, a spreadsheet. If you know me, you know that I do spreadsheets all day long, so of course I would bring a spreadsheet. Over here, I basically mapped out how this entire special event is going to work, all of the cars that are required, the ranks that are required, and whatnot. So for example, the stage 1, it doesn't need any conditions to unlock, it's instantly unlocked, so it needs 0. It features the Huracan Evo Spyder and a free try. It doesn't have any rank requirements, because obviously it's a free try at maximum rank, so that doesn't count. For example, in the second stage, you're going to have already 10 conditions done to unlock it. It's going to be with the Countach 25th anniversary at a maximum rank required for this stage of 1283, and it's going to give you another 20. Another random one. For example, in the stage 9, you need to have 20 conditions done already, then you unlock this stage, in which you're going to need the SCV12, and the maximum rank required is going to be 1410. So you get the idea of how this is going to work. Obviously, this works, this visualization helps to realize the free tries in which cars are going to be the problems. Because over here, for example, you can see the Jesko Absolute is required, yes, but it's a free try, so it's not a problem. Same thing over here or for the Huracan Evo Spyder. But there's other situations where it's not a free try and you actually need the car. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Over here, you're going to be able to see all of the conditions that are achievable in the event, and you can see that the total conditions to unlock the Huracan Evo Spyder is 218. You can find that information over here in the rewards. There it is already showing, 218. There's more rewards with more conditions, but these are very difficult to get to. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to. You're going to need crazy amounts of cars over there, so let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on how to get the Huracan Evo Spyder itself. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to mark over here, literally I can enter any character and it's going to count over here like I completed this entire thing, so that I don't have to write 20. You'll see how it works. For example, the Huracan Evo Spyder is going to be a free try, so I do it, I mark it, and it gives me my 20 conditions because I was able to do 20 conditions on this thing. It automatically updates here for my total of conditions, and as you can see, a couple of these already are marked green, telling me that these are unlocked because I have 20 conditions done. I already have access to the Countach 25th anniversary and to the Murcielago. If I do the 25th anniversary Countach and I complete all the conditions, I'm gonna get an additional 20 conditions, so that's a total of 40, and that unlocks even more. So that's why I have over here how many conditions are required to unlock this, because this is precisely what's gonna help you to skip some cars if you don't have them. Now, how much is that gonna help? That's what we're gonna see. Now, I'm gonna fill this up as DBT. This is not a theoretical case, no, as DBT stands right now with all of the Lambos that I had from the previous, well, from before this patch was released when there were only 21 Lambos and I had them all. I'm gonna fill it up like that, along with the special event that I already finished. So, again, Huracan Evo Spyder, I'll be able to do it because it's a free try, so I get 20. Countach 25th anniversary, I'll be able to do it. Murcielago, I'll be able to. Egoista, I have it. Jesco Absolute, it's a free try, so I'll be able to do it. Egoista, I have it. Huracan, I have it. Aventador, I have it. SCP-12, I also have it. Jesco Absolute is gonna be a free try, so I can do it. SCP-12, I have it. Diablo, I don't have it, so I'm gonna skip it. Reventon, and by the way, this is precisely what I was talking about, skipping. You can see already I have a lot of conditions, so I have more than enough to completely skip the Diablo. I don't have it, but I don't need it because for the Reventon I only need 120 conditions and I have plenty more already done. That's why it was important for me to show how many conditions are required. So Reventon, I have it. Jesco Absolute, I don't have it. And this one is not a free try, so I won't be able to do it. Huracan Evo Spyder, it's a free try, so I'll be able to do it. Diablo, I don't have it. And then Reventon, I do have it. So there you go. It looks good, right? I was able to get a lot of conditions. 200 and wait a second. I need 218 conditions in order to unlock the Huracan Evo Spyder. So this means that as it stands right now, I will not be able to get this car because I don't own the Diablo, I don't own the Jesco Absolute, and these are the roadblocks. These are the proper roadblocks that if you're willing to go, if you're gonna go full free to play and you have a bunch of all the other Lambos, but you're really not gonna spend any money, then unfortunately you're gonna get stuck over here because you're not gonna be able to get any more conditions done. Even if you complete every single condition as it shows, this is the best case scenario, but it's still not enough to unlock the Huracan Evo Spyder. Now, obviously, if I get the racing pass and I get the Diablo, then guess what? I can do this one. And with that, I already have enough conditions to unlock it. So yeah, absolutely, you need to either get the racing pass or be lucky enough to have unlocked or unlock the Jesco Absolute through the treasure rush. Granted, some people will be able to, you know, that's how RNG works. But the vast majority of people won't be able to. Now, there's something else to mention over here where I could possibly spend some tokens to skip some of the conditions. So if I spend some tokens and spend some conditions over here, and I get some 3 conditions done by spending tokens, guess what? I have enough to get here. But this is spending tokens. Obviously, that is a currency that is pay to win only. So at the end of the day, it's a roadblock. It's a paywall where you're gonna have to spend some tokens or spend some money in order to get the cars required. So even if you have a ton of Lambos, you can see that this is going to be a bit more of a problem that the Reventon was. And this is by design. It's very similar to how Asphalt 9 does things where there's 2 special events. The first one is going to be sort of friendly to free-to-play players. And I say sort of, and I'll talk about why it's only sort of friendly. But yeah, if you have a lot of cars, you're not going to have to spend any money. But the second special event is going to be paywalled. In Asphalt 9, it's the Legend Pass, because the Legend Pass has a car, and that's going to be required. Very similar to how over here the Racing Pass has the Diablo that is going to be required. So I can see what they're doing in making this second special event more difficult than the first. And honestly, I can understand why they did it. I'm not saying that I agree with it, and obviously, it would have been so much better if you didn't have to spend a single dime. But at the same time, I can see how they're doing it, and again, this is gonna come with my general thoughts and questions. So again, I'm gonna reset this whole thing and just give you a quick rundown of what a regular player would be able to do. If you missed out some of cars, for example, let's say that I do the Evo Spyder because it's a free try, I do the Countach, but I don't have the Murcielago. Well, it doesn't matter because I have 40 conditions already done over here, and that means I get to skip the Murcielago altogether and just jump straight into the Egoista, and then I can continue doing this whole thing. But again, same situation, you're missing one card, you're gonna miss a bunch of conditions, and you saw how it's incredibly, you need pretty much to have all of them in order to get to the guaranteed cars. So overall, even though you're going to be able to skip some stages, you're still not going to be able to easily get this car. And again, it's by design. So I just wanted to make this whole breakdown to give you a better idea of what are the requirements They're more realistic requirements. If you are aiming to get this car, you're gonna need to spend a bunch of tokens into skipping stages if you don't have all of the Lambos. And if you have all of the Lambos, except obviously the Diablo because you're not paying for it, you might still need to spend some tokens. But yeah, overall, it is a more difficult event. And we're gonna go into the third part of this entire thing, which is gonna be, well, let's do a bit of an analysis of why it's set up this way. The first question that comes to mind is obviously, why the Jesko Absolute instead of another Lambo, right? The Jesko Absolute is not a Lambo, as the name implies, so why is it featured over there? Well, this entire event is meant to incentivize people to spend money in the Racing Pass or the Treasure Rush. And obviously the Racing Pass, it is Lambo themed with the Diablo. The Treasure Rush, it is not Lambo themed, and I think this has to do just with the fact that they didn't have another car to make another event with. There's not another Class S car that people would want to spend a lot of money in the Treasure Rush, because I don't imagine Treasure Rush for Class A. If they had made the Diablo into Treasure Rush, being a Class A, I don't imagine a lot of people would spend on it. If you're gonna spend a lot of money, probably it's gonna be on a Class S car, so that's why they brought back the Jesko Absolute. It's the king of kings, so probably a lot of people are gonna be willing to spend some money into trying to get it. A lot of people are gonna try just free-to-play way, it's fine. But there's gonna be more than a few people that are gonna spend $150 to unlock this car, and that's obviously something that GameLoft wants to take advantage of. But as I showed you already, the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute is not absolutely necessary in order to get everything. Because again, if we mark everything except the Absolute, everything, well, obviously including the Absolute on the free tries, if we mark everything except the Absolute again, you will notice that it's more than enough. So the Absolute, it's not an absolute requirement. But all right, sorry about that. But the Absolute is not a total necessity on having it. So it's not as big of a roadblock as people think it is. The roadblock is more on the lane of the Diablo, not so much the Absolute. So the fact that it's featured over here, people are making it a huge deal, like, oh my god, this is gonna stop me from getting the whole thing. Probably something else is gonna stop you before the Absolute does. And like I just showed you, you don't really need the Absolute to guarantee getting the Evo Spyder. You need the Diablo, which is much cheaper than the Absolute. So in a way, I think that's better. But the other question is, why not make it a Lambo? You know, why not, instead of having this, why not make it a Centenario or the Cyan or the SB or whatever? Why not that? Because again, they're trying to make it so that people spend money in order to get the reward, in this case the Huracan Evo Spyder eventually, and you know, they want to make it a car that is very difficult to acquire, and what better option that probably the rarest car and the most expensive and in theory the best car in the entire game to get people to spend money. If they had put another car over here, first it would have made the special event too easy. If it was a Centenario, everybody has a Centenario, so that would make no sense. They would have made the event too easy. So they want to still make it difficult so that people are incentivized to spend money. And while I understand that a lot of people are going to be frustrated with this idea of GameLoft trying to push people to pay money, let's face it, this game is not a charity. It is a business for GameLoft, and GameLoft needs to keep on looking for ways to get money off the players. And that's a reality that everybody needs to accept. It's a free-to-play free-to-play game. So of course there's going to be crazy monetization everywhere, and this is just another step on that. But of all the monetization specifically for this event, this is the least offensive to me, simply because it's not needed. As I just shown you in my spreadsheet, the Jesko Absolute, even if I don't do it, I still get enough conditions to get the car. So it's not 100% needed. That's why I said that it's not super offensive to me. It was more offensive to me how the Sterrato in the previous one was a Treasure Rush. But anyway, that's a personal opinion. So overall, I'm not super bothered with this. And again, the fact that they're gonna rerun this event, the Treasure Rush for the Absolute, means that maybe 1 or 2 people in the entire players might be able to get it for free through random luck. So that's still a W for them, isn't it? Granted, it's the vast minority, but still, some people will get it for free, and I can tell you they'll be very, very grateful. Now, I know what you're thinking. This entire event is very bad for people with bad garage. You know, newer players or players that have been playing for a little bit, but they don't have a lot of car variety. Yes, it is terrible for them, and terrible for older players that have focused extremely hard only on a few king cars for multiplayer. You know what I'm talking about. People that have only focused on, why would I get any other car if I have already the Chiron 300 Plus, if I have already the Camaro IE? Why would I get any other car? All I need is W's and multiplayer. And that's true. You only needed those cars for multiplayer, and this is why this is a completely different event in which the focus shifted massively from just having a couple of really good cars to having a lot of cars that may not be extremely useful in the big scheme, although with the rebalances, a lot of these cars are pretty nice in multiplayer. But yeah, the focus shifted into being more about a collection of cars, and that collection being able to take you far. Now, for the newer players that might be looking at oh my god, but it's the special event and it's the Huracan Evo Spyder and I want it, it looks so pretty, oh my god, it's so shiny, it's so new, then you have been caught in the trap that Gameloft set up for this whole thing. It's a thing. This type of games have always been revolve around the fear of missing out, FOMO, as you might have heard it before. It's this idea of adding new things for a limited amount of time, and people who are after these shiny new things are gonna be like, I need to get it, I need to get it, I need to get it. I'm gonna go into the shop and start buying a bunch of things, and I need to spend a bunch of money, and how am I gonna do it? Oh my god, I'm going crazy. That is the type of people that this style of events or mechanics in the game are for. They're trying to get this type of people that are gonna get desperate and spend a lot of money into it. Kind of like I did in the previous one, but again, it was Lambo, so it's a different thing. Whatever. But yeah, it's this type of people. But let's be fair, if you're a new player, you don't need this car. If you're an older player that has a crazy selection of cars for multiplayer, you don't need this car. Nobody needs this car other than a collector. And a collector has already collected a bunch of cars, like I have. And this is why these events are great for me, because I've been a Lambo collector for the longest time, and this collection has served me very well for these events that are set for the collectors. But as I was saying, you don't need this car. If you are an older player with a crazy garage, or rather with really good cars like the Chiron 300 Plus and the Camaro IE, and you know, the great cars for multiplayers, do you really need another car that is not even going to be a king? You don't need it. You may want it, but you don't need it. And then for the newer players, it's the same situation. Players that don't have a garage at all. You might be thinking, well, yeah, but not everybody has a Chiron 300 Plus, so why not make this available for the new players that have very few cars? Again, because this car is not for them. A new player would do much better by playing just regular multiplayer and getting cars through the multiplayer store. In the Gauntlet store is difficult. There's really good cars over here, but getting this currency is very difficult because you need to be really competitive in Gauntlet and you need to grind it for many months in order to get a decent amount of the coins to get the cars. This is very expensive, so I don't recommend that necessarily. But in the multiplayer store, they tend to sell week by week different cars at pretty reasonable price, about 80,000, which sounds like a lot, but so long as you play daily, you're gonna get there. Because you don't need to win in multiplayer, you just need to finish races and you're gonna get this currency. So for a newer player, instead of focusing and getting frustrated on the special event because oh my god, this is so difficult to get, it's just simpler to go into multiplayer and get your multiplayer coins and eventually buy cars directly from the shop, and you don't have to spend a single dime on it. All of this you can purchase by just playing, and that is the whole idea of this thing. That is what this entire setup has been made to achieve. Have a way for newer players to still get decent cars by just playing multiplayer, which obviously boosts the playtime in the app for Gameloft, so that's good. And then for the players that are super obsessed with getting every single car and we're gonna go into the special event and they're gonna spend a bunch of money, well, then these are the ones that are gonna spend some money, and that's also good for Gameloft because they get money. So overall, I understand the frustration that a lot of people are not gonna be able to get this car, but I think it's gonna be very healthy for everybody to become of the mind that this is gonna be the future of Asphalt 8 for the foreseeable future. The special events are probably here to stay. And like I may have mentioned, in Asphalt 9, this entire system is incredibly similar. And you know how many cars I have gotten in Asphalt 9 with special events? Like 1 or 2 in years that I've been playing that game. Because it's incredibly difficult, like it is over here. Because it's meant for certain type of players that either are going to be spending a ton of money into getting everything in the moment that they need it, or for people that have a crazy garage and they're just going to do well because they have so many cars. But me as an Asphalt 9 player, I don't get those cars. And you know what? I don't get frustrated by it. Because it makes no sense for me to be getting angry every single month, being like, oh my god, another terrible event. Oh my god, yet another one. Oh my... It's gonna be like this from here onwards. So if you want to have a better chance at the special event, you may want to increase your garage, widen your garage to cover a lot of brands and upgrade them. Obviously, I'm not blind to the fact that this special event worked great for me, DBT, because I collect Lambos and this whole thing is about Lambos. But if the next special event is gonna be about, I don't know, Ferrari, guess what? I'm not gonna be able to do anything because I don't have Ferraris, and that is by design. At that point, I'll be in the place where, oh, do I want the car in the special event and do I have to spend a ton of resources and money to get it? Or, like I was saying, I just become of the mind of, well, I won't get that Ferrari. See you later. I'll just keep playing as usual. And like I said, I think that is the best way that you can handle this type of events. Don't get frustrated by how difficult they are. Become of the mindset that you're not gonna get the car. Get whatever rewards you can from it and just keep playing. Don't get frustrated by it, because if you keep on focusing on what is not good for you, oh man, you're gonna have a terrible time with this game and you're gonna end up hating it. So I really think it's better if you just focus it in that way. Now, if you have made it all the way to this point of the video, you really deserve a good chance of getting your racing pass. How are you gonna be able to get a racing pass in here? Very easy. First, you need to have already liked the video. You need to be subscribed to this channel. And then, the last thing in order to get there, you need to leave me the key phrase in the comments. Now, you don't need to put, please don't put, oh, DBT's key phrase is this, and then post it. Because if you do, people are just gonna look for the key phrase and just post it right there. Because, oh, someone said this is the key phrase, I'm gonna copy paste it. In fact, why don't you post a couple of fake key phrases in the comments? Post a couple of fake ones, everyone, just to confuse the people who are just jumping into to try to steal it off the comments. Just post a couple of fake ones. But the real one, the real key phrase for today, it's going to be, I don't like that the Huracan vrooms like a V12. It should be a V10. That's going to be the key phrase for your chance to get into here. Make sure that you spell vrooms right. That's V-R-O-O-M-S. Don't put more R's, don't put more O's, don't put more M's, none of that. Just spell it properly, because that is the main word that I'll be looking for when I decide who's going to be the winner. But again, like the video, be subscribed, and leave me the key phrase. And also, just to mess with people, post a bunch of fake ones, because why not? How about we do a race with this new car? Because in the special event, we have a free try, which I kind of may have already tried a little bit. I didn't complete the race, so as to not mess up the conditions. I wanted you to see it from the beginning. But let's drive it a little bit, just so that there's some gameplay in this ridiculously long video. I really wanted this video to be very short, but of course, there's too much information to look into. So yes, it takes a while. What can I say? Let's go! And this is why I was saying that this sounds like a V12. Huracans are V10s. They're meant to sound like a V10 game. Look, just saying, please change it, please. I'm kind of annoyed that there's so many V10 cars in this. So many V10 Lambos that sound like V12 in this game. I don't like it. Game Love, please change it. Come on. But yeah, there it is. The Huracan Evo Spyder. It is an interesting looking car. I don't love it, but I know that a lot of people like it. So there is that. Please, people, don't be 360ing everybody. Huh? Come on. Asphalt 9 players ought to understand that joke. Come on. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, so don't get frustrated if you cannot get this car. Just overall focus on trying to get your garage a little bit more, to have a wider garage, you know? And even then, no matter what you try, there will be a point where you're gonna be like, oh, I have 5 of the 10 cars that I need. Great. The frustration is gonna be there, so don't focus too much into it. Don't lose sleep over it. This is how these events are gonna be, and the frustration is gonna be there. You just have to live with it, learn to live with it, and you'll be okay. That is gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Just make sure that you're not hitting it constantly, otherwise you might unlike the video, but you know what I'm saying. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, you need to be subscribed to participate. And also check the new segment that I did. It was pretty fun. I'll probably do some more like that in the future, or check this other video. I don't know what it is about, but it should be fun. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this information was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.